be doing professional training on learning through music, songs, and movement. I myself am not very good and not very interesting being able to talk to you, but I cannot interact with you. But let's see how it goes. Okay, why am I so passionate about music and songs and movement? It's because you are going to create genius. How now? So, what is music? Music is the cornerstone. I just quickly need to do something here. Sorry about that. We've just had a bit of a technical hitch on this side, because when people don't mute their videos or their microphones, then your name is suddenly all over my screen here, and I can't see what is written in PowerPoint. But let's first talk about what is music. So music is in every culture is different, but it's a cornerstone, and it's always there to calm people, to de-stress people. It allows for creativity, dancing, rhythmic song. And as you can see there at the bottom, that's actually a brain scan of a young child around about 6 years old, listening to music. Can you just see how the whole brain is lit up? So it's an absolute vital part of a child's developmental phases. Let's have a look how it is we can incorporate all of these things in their lives, so that your child's brain actually looks like that inside as well. So firstly, I'm going to look at the benefits of music. Now, these thoughts I'm going to share with you are a summary from a whole lot of different studies that I've done. I am a qualified music teacher as well. Studied through UNISA to get my UNISA music. But sadly, what happens with music teachers, it's like teachers and doctors, you never actually get to play the piano as much as you would like to. You can see it accelerates brain development in children, particularly in the areas that are responsible for sound, language, speech perception, and reading skills. Because music and language are very similar. They work on patterns, they work on intonation. So once you start getting people involved in music, you know you are also going to be helping them with speech and reading. It also improves long-term memory and better brain development for those who start music at a young age. And this is because the stimulation is very much due to the emotional connectivity that they have. Music also ignites all areas of a child's brain development and makes him ready for school. And this is because the mind and the body are working together. And like I said, it's helping with languages, because a child is hearing sounds, he's putting meaning to words. And something that I'm particularly passionate about is classical music. And I'm not really meaning that heavy, sad music that most of us associate with classical music. But classical music without drums and without words, and we'll look a little bit more into that just now, has actually been shown to increase the brain activity in which is linked to memory, understanding, and problem solving. That's why in many schools in Europe, they actually have music playing over the intercom all day long. And while I would recommend something called brain music to have in your home, because it is going to affect the atmosphere. And when my children were studying, I encouraged them to listen to music as well, because that would they would link that music to what they were studying at that stage. I see there's still some people that have not got muted or put their videos off. So you are causing a little bit of a challenge because we are over my internet, my PowerPoint, but it's interesting. It's fun. I'm sure you can see everything. So I've identified 6 different types of music, and this is also something that I found by a gentleman by the name of Deep Patel. So first kind of music that we really are wanting to look at and wanting all our encourage children to listen to is classical music, because this increases the brain activity, and at the same time it's improving health and well-being, which then encourages children to focus, work with shapes, solve problems, solve puzzles. But can you see there, the important thing is no words in the music itself, and actually no drums, because that is also going to affect how the child is interpreting the music, but it's also going to affect the way the child is going to be able to get calmer or to relax. Classical music there's a lot of this available on the internet, and I know a few of my friends don't have internet access, so we have got some available for you, but we will talk about that again later. At all our workshops, we have got manuals that have got a lot more information in it that you can use as a reference manual. And everything we do goes for 50 Rand. Half a century, we're almost 50 days into COVID-19 at the moment, or we're over 50 days. But you can please at each stage put your details in the chat box so that we can send you both your certificate for attending this course, but also to make sure that we can send you your the workbooks when we can post them. So first thing is going to be classical music. The second thing we're looking at is nature's music. Did you know? Why do we wake up in the morning with birds singing, going tweet, tweet, tweet? What if we woke up in the morning with cows going moo, or a dog barking? It's a little bit different, isn't it? So nature music is very popular to have. So again, just hearing the sound of running water, having the sound of the wind blowing through the trees, those, and that's why often I would encourage teachers, if the classroom situation is getting tense, go outside, find a tree, go and sit just where you can hear the wind. You would be amazed at how it actually calms everyone down. They've also found in office situations, if they play the sound of nature, it increases the performance in the room and in the working environment. Now, the next lot I found quite interesting, cinema music. And these are especially like, I know there's Born Identity, The Island. They normally have very rich drama music. And they've said, if you're going to do something boring that day, you've got your to-do list and you've got to work through everything. And you're just thinking, oh, I don't want to do this. Find some cinema music, because they have said it'll immediately lift your mood and it'll make you feel like you're a winner, because it's going to inspire you and empower, and you're going to imagine you this hero in the movie, and it'll heighten your concentration and your productivity. So interesting thing to find some cinema music to play in the background. But now remember, these aren't to learn, these are now to motivate, because the next one as well, video game music. Again, have you noticed video game music doesn't have words or voices? And I was fascinated to realize that the most research in music and the effect on the emotions has actually been in the field of video game music, because they're wanting to keep the person who's playing that video game focused, engaged, feeling you must move on to the next thing. So they have said, if you again have got work you've got to do that you're really not keen to do, you know, sweeping, washing windows, put some video game music on in the background, and before you know it, the job is done. Then there's different kinds of music, and now we're moving more into music that we're finding on the radio every day. So people like more modern music. They have discovered that if music is at a tempo of 50 to 80 beats a minute, it actually puts your brain in something called the alpha state. Now, the alpha state is normally a state in your brain that you reach when you are sleeping. You're in a beta state during the day and an alpha state at night. So you're relaxed, you're receptive, you're less critical. And what do we say at night? What happens? Your conscious and your subconscious suddenly click together, and you think of all these, wow, wonderful ideas and things you can do, and you suddenly have solutions to a lot of problems. So that especially stimulates creativity and learning, and it's not necessarily music without, there's very little drums in them, but you can definitely feel the effect on your heart. It's that kind of music where you're listening and you suddenly think, wow, I can't remember what happened to the time. And that's when your body has gone and your brain's gone into the alpha state. And the last one is very obvious, your favorite music. When you're in a certain mood and you're in a certain emotion, you're going to put your favorite music on. So put together a file on your phone, on a USB, that you know, if you just pop that into your USB or you put your phone on and you can hear that music, you're immediately going to feel better. The minute you feel better, you're going to work faster, and you're going to be able to come up with these all kinds of ideas, which is similar to point number 5 about listening to music with the correct tempo. So you can see there's all kinds of music, and all of these you're going to be using in your school environment or in your home environment or just personally, because I mean, I know we've got the joke in our family, happy wife, happy life. So how do you get a happy wife? Put music on that she likes. So that's the effect of the different types of music. Something coming in now, the education realm, is we're always wanting to teach children concepts. So as we say to you at the crash course, look at the different concepts, these little building bricks you're wanting to teach the children throughout the year to get them school ready. And as we mentioned at the course, in music, you get 5 particular concepts: pitch, volume, tempo, rhythm, and spatial awareness that's reinforced through music. Pitch is it high or is it low? Tempo is it fast or is it slow? Volume, is it loud or is it soft? Rhythm, is it a 4-beat, a 3-beat, a waltz, or a 2-step? Is it a cha-cha-cha? Or what else are we learning? We're learning dancing here while COVID is on, the mamba. So that is the rhythm where the pace differs. And spatial awareness is because both parts of your brain are now communicating with each other. It's making you more open to learning things. And because your brain waves are now more even, and you're going to see that just now, it makes it easier for you to absorb and remember. So you can just see all the benefits that come through music. Here's examples of patterns and rhythms. Now, a lot of people say, oh, I can't read music. Well, you don't have to be able to read music. There's the standard notation that those who study music, we learn what those notes mean. But you can show those notes with lines. Now, if you look on the right-hand side of the picture there, you can see if there's a long line, means it's a long note. And then it's suddenly divided in 2. So that means it must be a little faster. and then it's suddenly divided in 4, means it must be even faster, and then it's divided into 8, so that's even faster, and then it's divided into 16. So you can actually draw those on a piece of paper, on your blackboard, and the child will be able to read music and know what rhythm he is meant to keep. So you can make it a lot of fun. So let's become more practical, and let's have a look at the way we're going to teach music in our school environment. And it makes me so sad that they have taken music out of the school as a set subject, because I do believe it enhanced so much and supported other educations in the other environments. So let's just come to something simple. We all have a mouth. We can all sing. What does singing do? So as Liesl shares at the crash course, that taps into your right brain, your creativity brain, where as well it's going to enhance learning and language. You can see it works with your hormones as well. That elevates oxytocin, and it releases endorphins, which are your happy hormones. It increases and establishes new neural pathways. A neural pathway is just the pathways in your brain made by your nerves. I mean, who doesn't want to become cleverer? And all you've got to do is sing. You've got psychological benefits. You're going to become happier. And remember, each culture, each generation, each gender, we're all going to have our different likes and dislikes. But whatever we err to, that's going to make us personally feel better. It increases the blood flow, higher blood flow, less toxins in your body, happier person, and the endorphins, man, you can just become a happier person. It increases neuroplasticity. Now, neuroplasticity means how absorbent the brain is. And so that is why it's also particularly important for older people who start suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia. Play music in their environment. When you have to really focus hard and study, don't make it dead quiet around you. Play the music that you are needing to listen to. In my workbook, I do reference to quite a few good audios that I listen to, and which definitely have specific effects on me, be it piano music, guitar music, or violin music. And the last point there was singing. It makes your auditory, which is your ears, cortex, and your right temporal lobe alive, just like we saw in those brain scans earlier on. That's just singing. We haven't even come to anything else. And in Africa, we are always singing. You just need to walk down the road and you can hear a child singing, which makes it so gorgeous. In your school environment or in your home environment, why do you want to teach songs? Well, first of all, you're wanting to, songs can teach children a lot of things. And as you can see there, you can teach them how to count. You can teach the alphabet. You can teach days of the week. There's a big difference between going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or singing our Froggy song or singing the 10 green bottles. You're still learning the numbers. You learn to copy patterns, and copying patterns then means you're going to be able to learn to write words, and after writing words, you're going to write sentences. And Lilandi is going to be doing a workshop on how to teach children how to read and write, and it all comes down to copying patterns. And then you learn to interpret music, and this is where drama comes in as well. What does the music make you feel like? And you let the child act it out. It's also so difficult to be cross when you're saying to someone else, let's sing Twinkle, Twinkle. You can't go Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. You're going to smile the minute you start singing a song. Music, and especially with the drama, when you interpret music, means you've got to have discipline. You've got to learn to work together. You can't just go wild, but it's giving the child an opportunity to express their emotions, to perform. Who doesn't like acting and then getting praised for what they have acted out? So here's a couple of ideas, and I share a fair few more in my workbook. with counting songs at the crash course. Who doesn't remember Liesel choosing 5 of you? And I can remember a few of you always trying to hide away when you need to come and do 5 green and speckled frogs. You have or you can let the children act it out. 10 green bottles. You can sing your taxi songs. In copying patterns and rhythm, here you can just use sticks. You can use a drum. You can use clapping. We've all got hands. We can read the music like I showed you just now with those lines, or just playing. Here's an example of sticks. I mean, these are just society sticks, and they can make a nice noise. Come on, now be honest. Who of you do not have a good old pop lepel in your house? And they can make a really nice noise for a child to copy patterns. Can you hear the difference? Then, when I come to my discipline and working together, here I normally make use of videos or of other things that you can access on YouTube. There's the song Freeze, where the child has to move and then he has to stop when the music stops. Musical chairs, which we share with you at the crash course, where you have the chairs out and the children run around it, and when the music stops, the child has to find a chair to sit on. Or to mirror movements, have 2 children facing one another, or you facing the children, and they have to copy what you are doing. Teaching language, like I said, music and language go hand in hand. We've got that, you can teach opposites, and we're going to have a look at that song just now. Which song do you think I was teaching the children with these little flashcards? A pig, a cow, a duck, a hen, a sheep. Yep, I taught them Old MacDonald. And always have visuals ready for the children, so that a child that's never seen a pig is not going to know what you're talking about. So have the picture. Expression and performance, have picture cards. So, for example, I'm just using Kumbaya here. But if I show the child that picture, he's going to mirror. He knows the words. It's going to be someone that's crying. There's someone that's praying. There's someone that's praising. So the child can see the picture. He links the picture to the words I'm using, and then we can add an action to it. So it just simple little things. And as I say, and as we all say at the crash course, please laminate everything, because once you've done it, you want to keep it forever. All my things that I'm sharing with you now are well over 15 years old. And then available, there is a specific story about Peter and the Wolf, where they link the instruments with a specific story. So they tell the story via the musical instruments. So again, I've printed it. There's a person, there's a saxophone, there's a violin, there's a bassoon. Never underestimate the brain of a child. They are super absorbent. And especially if you're not linking it to music, you can start teaching children the names of musical instruments, what they sound like, even if you have never ever been there. Because what are we wanting to do? We're wanting to encourage a child to go physically, mentally, and emotionally. And this is all that you get through just exposing a child to music. Here, let's quickly go through a couple of songs. So here's a counting song. Can you see it's counting in 2s? And I'm not starting at 0, I'm starting at 10. So I'm teaching the children to count backwards. So this is just a rhyme. It's not even a song. You can add it to a song, but rhythm and rhyme go together with music and mime. So this one goes, 10 big taxis standing in a row to say, beep, beep, we must go. 10 big, 8 big, 6 big, 4 big, 2 big, no big, oh. And you can, then you've got the children standing. Now 2 children go off. They can see it. If it's just you and your own child doing it, have buttons out there, or have their cars out there, or have beans out there, or have stones, but that they can physically see and touch. Oh, it was 10, now it's 8, now it's 6. you can have your 4-year-old knowing their 2 times table before they go to grade 1. Here's an easier version, and this is one I would start with children from age 2 already. Another taxi song, but now you can see, now we are counting in ones, but we're counting up. So you adjust whatever you're teaching to the child to what the child can do. You want a child to feel like a winner. So here, 5 little taxis standing in a row. One says, beep, beep, I must go. 1, little 2, little 3, little 4, little 5, little taxis. Oh, and then one goes beep, 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 and off he goes. And can you see, we're already bringing in opposites. So we had big taxis and we have little taxis. Unconscious learning all the way. Here's my opposite song now on the CD that I've put together that you can also access from us. We have the ladies from Tembisa actually singing this, but you can teach the children opposites. So instead of saying to a child, oh, the opposite of tall is short and the opposite of high is low, high, low, and you just have repetition the whole time, but zero understanding. Here you can be acting it out, you're singing a song, the child's enjoying it, you're enjoying it, and everyone's vocabulary improves. There's a lady that sang years ago, her name is Wendy Fine, and this is one of her songs. And if you can ever find her record in hospices, I would just buy anything that's Wendy Fine, because she really, she's a South African, and it's really very educational and nice music to play in the background. A quick idea how this tune goes, it just goes, what is it? What is it? What is it? It's an opposite. The opposite of tall is short. The opposite of sold is bought. The opposite of high is low. And the opposite of stop is go. You can hear the music is nice and cheeky, it's flowing. And before you know it, while you're washing the dishes and you suddenly feel, oh, the water's hot, you're going to go, oh, the opposite of cold is hot. And you're going to sing a song. Here's Kumbaya here. As I said, there's my picture. If you don't have a computer or internet, you make it on a flashcard. But now the child can see the picture and he immediately knows, oh, picture crying, so the next word I must be using is about crying. So there we're talking about mental, social, and emotional development, learning songs. Here's the one I was talking about, drama and interpretation. If you want to, there are records, and I know they're available at the hospices, about Peter and the Wolf. And you have this whole story being told through all those different instruments while the gentleman reads you the story about what Peter does and how the hunters come and get the wolf. It's really a fascinating thing to play and to have the children listen to and speak to you about it afterwards. Another great thing about music is it makes you move your body. We all sit too much. We all are too restricted in what we're wanting to do every day. And just play music, you're immediately going to move. What does music do with your body? It increases coordination, agility, that's about ability to jump up and down, flexibility, to bend forwards and back and sideways, improves your balance. It improves your self-esteem, because if you've got good body posture, you are going to be a more confident person. It improves body awareness. So you're going to know the difference between your head and your shoulders and where your knees and your toes are. That's a very popular song that we always sing with our children. And you start that already from a young age. Hokey Pokey is another popular one, especially when I'm working with a group of over 30 children, because you are using the different parts of their body. They're hearing the word, they're doing the action, and they're seeing what part of their body is moving. And again, they learn to control their bodies. What songs can we use over here with the movement of the body? Well, with your feet, stamp your feet, tap your feet, walk on tippy toe. With your legs, kick, bend, stretch them. run a cycle, scissors, or just knock your knees together. Your hands, you can clap, you can rub, you can slap your hands. Your fingers, you can tap, you can click, you can flick. Your head, nod, roll. Your face, you can laugh, you can cough, you can hiccup, you can sneeze, you can sniff, you can whistle, you can click, you can hum, you can snore. You can yawn. Hope none of you are snoring yet. And you can kiss. And those you can get incorporated in a song. But can you see the language you're using? And I would use those words every time I encourage a child to do that. I would make sure that they know I'm nodding my head. And the fun you're going to be having with your children. So instead of just clapping every time, do something different. You've got a lot more parts of your body that can move. We emphasize at the crash course the importance of cross laterals. And here, remember, we do the January, February with the Macarena moves. Look at the cross laterals with the Macarena. You've got your arms crossing, you've got your moving top and bottom, and you are moving your body left and right. Here again, there's a couple of examples. I've just picked out a few that are in my manual. But can you see I'm making the child move? He's walking, he's jumping, he's hopping, he's balancing. And then he's learning the difference between 2 legs and 1 leg. And he's getting to know the difference between his left leg and his right leg. Can you see how much I've taught a child with one song? And that's learning, and that's fun. And once learning is fun, a child just wants to learn some more, and you are happy to be with him. Here's a poem. And again, you can see the child is learning. Raise your hands above your head. The English language, hands, head, where's above? It's not below. Let's clap them. 1, 2, 3. He's learning numbers. Now we rest him on his knees. Then he goes down from his hips to his knees. He's shaking his fingers. He's twisting his body. He's hearing the words. He's seeing the action. He's doing the action himself. And it's just fun. And you know what? If you're doing it with him, I can guarantee you're going to have that nice narrow waist that you are wanting. So when we're talking about music, we have this to make us realize how linked music is to language. Music and mime goes with rhythm and rhyme. And your child will just become a super genius. That I can guarantee you. I would also recommend using musical videos. You don't want to reinvent the wheel the whole time. And ladies that I have really found good is Debbie Doo, Patty Shukla. There's the Learning Station. These are old videos. So they are available on YouTube, but I'm sure we could also make a plan if you are having challenges on our side. Very popular songs, and these I would do with babies as well. From the minute you change, every time you're changing a baby's nappy, be that little kid 1 day old, you're singing head, shoulders, knees, and toes to that child, because you are touching the part of the body. You're going to be playing with the child, and that builds relationships. Wheels of the Bus is a big favorite amongst small children, because it allows their bodies to move, and it just gives a lot of energy in the house. So as you can see, look at how musical activities stimulate development in every area of the brain. Vision, balance, hearing, speech, behavior, sensations, skills, movement, and emotion. It's not just a song playing. You are making a brain come alive. Let's become a little bit more specific as I move towards the end, and you can see what you can do depending on which area you are in. So for a 0 to 2-year-old, they love making their own music. That is why. What's the first thing you give a baby? You give them a rattle, because it's making music every time they move their hands. You can give them sticks to play with. They want simple musical instruments. And if I can make a suggestion again, as we emphasize on the crash course, avoid toys that use batteries or electricity. because the minute it goes off, you're creating a job for yourself and you've just wasted a whole lot of money. So much better to use simple things and specifically things in your own household. 2-year-olds love singing games. They love playing. They love bouncing and swaying and jumping and clapping. And never underestimate a 2-year-old. Now, little Ruby Lee is just gone 18 months. And watch how she already is dancing and playing. I'm going to hold this in front of my camera that you can just see how she, can you see her there? And she's moving her body and she's excited. And all she's doing is copying, mirroring what she has been seeing on the screen. And that's one of the songs that is on my CD that I have available. Your 3-year-olds, they also enjoy musical instruments. They can be a little bit more advanced, but can you see what they want to do? They want to dance fast, they're galloping, they're jumping, they're playing that game Freeze. But they're a little older. They can learn to keep rhythm with the music, listen to the beat. Because they are more vocal, they can actually sing simple melodies. They can only sing something you have already been teaching them since they've been 0 months. And you teach them songs in different languages because this is the time where the brain is open to learning languages. So sing a Xhosa song, sing a Zulu song, sing Afrikaans song. I've got Congolese refugees we work with, and their favorite song is Visvang for Jesus. They can barely speak English, but they want to sing an Afrikaans song. So teaching them different languages. They will, as long as you speak Xhosa and then you speak English and then you speak Afrikaans and you don't mix your words, the child will not get confused in his brain. And then we come to our 4-year-olds. They are able to do that drama and that interpretation. They're able to sit still and actually listen to the music. They're able to keep the beat. They know a variety of songs. They will love acting out the song stories, especially if you just put a couple of props there for them to put a wig on or a hat on, or give them a play gun or a whip that they can be a cowboy or a queen, a crown for being a queen. And they can also imitate simple rhythm patterns. Before this time period in their lives, if a child sings, he actually starts forgetting to move his hands. And if he's moving his hands or his feet, he forgets to sing. But from about the age of 4, they can start doing 2 things at the same time. So that's specifically because I know most of the ladies that I'm speaking to have children that are 6 and younger. And what they've learned from age 0 to 4, you're just going to reinforce as they grow older. As I've shown here, you do not need to have a piano. It's nice to have a piano, but you don't need to have one. You need your voice, you need lots of energy. Then I would recommend you get yourself a drum. I have my favorite ones that I have especially got for myself. You can get a triangle, or you can get a cymbal, and you can just, and here each one makes a different noise. You can have your clappers. These, especially my 2-year-olds love. Get yourself some nice tambourines. Now the ones I've shown you are really gorgeous ones made in the Drakensberg, which I really love. But you can also get your own clappers. You can get them here at a couple of our shops. And as I said as well, your bells, very, very popular. Can you see in the bottom right-hand corner there? There's the difference between a sound that is a noise and a sound that makes music. Can you see the difference on your brain patterns? So if you play anything that makes a noise, and you know what, it doesn't have to be like horrible music with someone screeching in your ears. It can be the sound of gears changing where the person's not put their foot on the clutch, or an animal or a bird that makes a specific sound. That's the effect on your brain. But brain music, nature's music on the whole, you get those even brain patterns and brain waves, and that's what enhances the ability to learn. Make your own musical instruments. I've got a few pages in my workbook showing you how you can make your own musical instruments. I've made a shaker. I'm sure you can all guess what this is. It's a toilet roll holder. As I said, you can get sticks, make a nice noise. So it's a nice dual purpose project in your house. Paper plates. This is why it was so important to have attended Liesel's micro movements class on Friday, because she shows you how you can make things out of paper plates, toilet rolls, old tins. You can make your drums, bells that you can buy. And look at that. The CDs that we normally just throw away, just add a piece of material and you get yourself a nice cymbal. And this is fascinating, and we all have a wall in our house. Why don't you make a music wall? So instead of throwing away that drum, or instead of throwing away some of those things that you just thought, oh, well, this is absolute rubbish, go and get a wall and put them up for the child to play his own music. I would, at the top there, you can see they've used bottles with beans in to make shakers. They've used bottle tops. You can use old kind of metals, and depending on the length of the metal is going to make a different sound. Your wood, different lengths, different sounds, pipes that are just lying around, those things that you do your washing on, you know, running a stick up and down, that would make different sounds as well. So you can make a nice music wall that can keep the child occupied for quite a while. Nice challenge while we are busy with COVID. So, coming to an end, how do you encourage a love of music with your child? Well, you play music for your baby. I would recommend you play music while the baby's in your womb already, because they can hear that sound, they hear that music, and they will always remember the emotions it evokes. Just remember, you want to keep your volume moderate, because loud music can damage a baby's hearing. You want to sing to your baby. Changing his nappy, you are singing a song to him. You're giving them a bottle, you're singing to them. You're going to bath, you're singing to them, because there's patterns, there's rhythms. It's going to have a calming effect on the child, but at the same time, you we're using words. So it makes me so sad when I see people walking around with earphones or in their ears, and only they can appreciate what they are listening to. Have the radio playing, have your computer playing with the right kind of music, as I showed you in the beginning, because you're going to create a genius. And as I said, you can start music lessons. I would reckon around about the age of 4 or 5. You want to work with a child where the child's at. If you start earlier than this, unless the child is specifically shown, man, I can play drums or I can play the piano, you're just going to lead to frustration, and the kid's going to give up before he's 8. So normally starting at the age 4 to 5, they can learn the basics, but anything that's associated with music, you are creating a lifelong love for music within that child. And now I'm going to quote someone who lived 400 years before Jesus was born, a Greek philosopher named Plato. And just look what he said. I would teach children music, physics, and philosophy, but most importantly, music, because the patterns in music and all the arts are the key to learning. So we have a lot more time on our hands. Please remember, music is, your voice is for free, but music is there to enhance learning. You have time to put things together, programs together. And again, if you're wanting some of our workbooks, you can contact us at any time through the Cuddle Trust number, and we can share the list of books that we have or CDs that we've put together. But thank you very much for joining me. I really had a great time sharing this with you. I know it's a lot of information, but just pick on one thing I said and start with that.